So welcome, Temi, to
Thank
the
you.
Pursuit of Peace podcast.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, how does it feel? You're happy to be here, but how else are you feeling to be at this place where we're actually recording?
It feels great because it's been a long time coming. So I'm happy that we've finally been able to align our calendars to actually come together to do this. Feeling
Yeah,
good.
I remember. I think it was like autumn. We're like recording this around springtime now. Kind of going, Temi, we're doing this Pursuit of Peace podcast, and I'll let you describe how you felt at that moment. But
Yeah.
it seems like a long time ago. It could have been even like 5, 6 months ago. So.
Yes, but it was also a very tough year for me. So I think at that place as well, I didn't really feel like I had the space to be able to come in to share. So I feel like I'm in a much better position to be able to share because I feel like I've come over that hurdle, if that makes sense. So
It's
better
like a
late than
teaser.
never.
It's like a teaser, like already,
Right?
like the
Wait
episode.
for it.
Anyway, anyway, let's before we get there, let me give you some flowers.
Okay.
Let me shower you some flowers. Let the people know who you are and what we're on with. Yeah, and a little about your life story. How's that
Okay.
sound? Gonna work. Okay. And if I go at the end of this, you'll be able to go, well, actually, no, it was this many years, or I actually did this thing. So the production team have given me some amazing notes here from your story. So let's go. So you are a full-time artist and a content creator who has been sharing your artwork online for over 13 years.
Correct.
That's a long time.
I know.
That's like a teenager's life in Korea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I'm not going to age myself, but yeah.
Yeah, wow, amazing.
young.
Okay, so you left a career in mechanical engineering to fully embrace your creative calling, to captivate audiences with realistic drawings and paintings, some fun art challenges, and some candid art rants.
Yeah, I love a good art rant.
An art rant, interesting. And it's all delivered with your, I think people are getting the vibe already, your personality and a little bit of humor as well, okay? So this is where I remember, I think we've known each other for a few years, but I remember someone going, "Oh, Temi does stuff on YouTube," and like searching YouTube, and I was like, "What? That many subscribers?" So I'm gonna go to it now. So this is big flower. So you started your YouTube journey with speed dating. Oh, speed. That was an unintentional speed drawing videos, which have since evolved into tutorials, art rants, and other engaging content under Temi Danso Art, and you have 850,000 subscribers.
That doesn't even feel real still, honestly.
That's crazy. Like when I think about it, 850,000. That's like in England, multiple villages, like towns. I'm sure there's probably a small city with under 1 million people watching your content.
Mind blown every day, honestly.
That is crazy. So your TikTok presence as well. You joined in December 2019, and
You've got the stats.
your tag is at Temi_Danso.
Correct.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to check it out, and you've amassed over 320,000 followers and 9 million likes. Did you even know that?
I didn't know that, no.
There you go. That's what research happens. And your artistic philosophy, you believe that anyone can create good art with practice, perseverance, and the right tools and tips. And you're basically using your talent to inspire new artists to develop their skills.
That's exactly it. You've got it.
I feel like I need a tutorial during this at some point, but
To draw?
yeah, to draw, you talk about not speed dating, speed drawing. So maybe you'll be able to help me out as we go along the way. But is there anything else you think are really key headlines for you in your life, or are we done okay with that?
Yeah, so I think that's good and it captures my artistic presence and my creative side. But also, I mean, I was an engineer and that was also a key part. So I studied mechanical engineering and I did a master's and then I worked as an engineer for a few years before I put that to the side and then did art. So that's probably the only other
Amazing.
headline.
Yeah. And when you were doing the mechanical engineering and working, what company, if you don't mind sharing, were you with? Or is it kind of like you have to keep it on the down low and just say they were a big one?
They were a big one.
They're a big one. Okay, amazing. We'll just say, what sort of things were you working with?
So it was in the automotive industry.
Okay, so
Yeah.
from
So with
automotive
cars.
industry to YouTube, art, lots of things. Wow. Okay, I'm excited. So let's move into the warm up.
Okay.
We carried this over from season 1 because the people loved it. I love it. I think it's very interesting getting to know people's flavors. So this is called bucket, bin, or bargain.
Okay.
Okay. So bucket, it comes from like basketball. If you score a nice basket in basketball, people be like, it's a bucket,
Okay.
like you're a walking bucket. You're scoring loads of shots.
Okay.
Bin is actually throw it in the bin. I don't want to have anything to do with it. It's rubbish, those sort of things. And a bargain is only if it's cheap.
Okay. Okay.
You get it? So I'm going to give you
Bucket, bin,
options and you
bargain.
got it. Yeah, bucket, bin, bargain. All right. So, first one is we're going to go through different things.
Okay.
Holiday
Okay.
in Zanzibar.
Bucket. I would
Big
love
money.
that. Yes. Have you seen pictures?
You know what? I actually saw. I don't know how. Maybe my Google and Google's listened to me,
Yeah.
and something came up. My
Definitely.
I think I said this out loud the other day, and my phone was just
And
listening.
Google popped up like,
And I literally had a reel on Instagram come up about Zanzibar yesterday.
oh wow. Okay, yeah, no, I have a friend who went there for her friend's birthday, and it
Okay.
looked incredible.
So they're the
So,
sort
yeah.
of friends you need, first of all.
Right? To be traveling the world.
Okay,
Yeah.
100%.
So bucket.
And why Zanzibar? What when you see the photos, you see the videos,
Yeah.
what's drawing your attention?
So I want to explore more of Africa first
Mm.
and foremost. So going to Tanzania is on my list, definitely. Like Rwanda, South
Mm-hmm.
Africa, just a bunch of places because I'm Nigerian. So I've done Nigeria, I've done Ghana.
The West Africans.
So. But yeah, I would love that.
Nice. So I feel like Zanzibar is that place. It's like one of those gems in Africa. I hear a lot of people talk about your Nigeria, your Kenya.
Because we're loud.
I mean,
That's
I don't want
why.
to say anything, but
And it's good with good reason. However, yeah,
loud or expressive or both.
both. Because some days keep it like bring it down.
Nice.
But Nigeria is great. Yeah.
But I feel like there's certain gems that people don't know about.
Yeah.
So, for example, I remember finding out about a year ago that you can go skiing in Africa.
Really? Where?
So apparently there's a place, Lesotho?
Yes,
'Cause
like
it's
near
in-
South
it's-
Africa,
I
like
think it's
in South
I think it's
Africa.
in the middle of South
Yeah,
Africa.
yeah.
And whatever reason, it's really high above sea level and you can actually go skiing.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Check it out. So I just feel like
But
there's
what
little
months?
gems.
Like our summer months then?
I mean, let me just ask the weatherman. Just gonna make a call, but I have no idea.
Okay.
Because as you know, I go to Rwanda at different points, and
Yeah.
you got your dry season, your rainy season,
Mm.
and I didn't really know about a snowy season or really cold season.
Yeah,
so-
because in southern Africa, I think it's like it's flipped. So kind of like Australia, where when it's winter here, it's summer there.
Okay,
So maybe in our summer months, don't quote me.
that makes a lot of sense. Because in 2019, I went to Rwanda and then flew to South Africa, and it was roasting in Rwanda. Flew to South Africa, and it was freezing.
cold,
I was
yeah.
wearing hoodies, so
Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. All right,
Okay.
let's move on. So Zanzibar is a
Bucket.
bucket, big
yeah.
money you're paying to go there. Okay,
100%.
next one, food,
Okay.
sushi.
Okay. I like sushi.
Mm-hmm.
Will I pay big money for sushi? No.
So you're not going
So
on
maybe
this
a bargain.
glamorous date with a friend or romantic date. It's kind of just a side thing.
Yeah, because sushi
Okay.
isn't like my favorite. Like it's not my top.
Okay.
Because it doesn't feel filling enough. And maybe this is the Nigerian in me. But
It's
I
not
would,
like the jollof rice, basically.
It's not the jollof rice. It's not the amala. It's not all of the rest. But it's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would either take it for free or
So bargain.
Yeah.
So so free's not on it. So you're only going bargain.
Okay,
you're
bargain.
gonna have to expend some money here.
Yeah, and I'm happy to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
bargain.
And I might, if it's a specific one I like a lot,
Okay.
I might actually buck it. But yeah.
Okay. Right. We're going on a journey with the next one because I barely even know what it is myself.
Okay.
Drink
Okay.
kombucha.
Oh, kombucha. I haven't tried kombucha.
I don't think I've ever tried it, and I barely know what it
No.
is.
I haven't tried it. So I'd say bargain because I'm willing to try.
You're willing to try, but you don't know what
Yeah.
it tastes like or what it
No.
is. Apparently,
But
it's
I
some
know a lot
sweet
of
tea
people-
thing, fermented
Yeah.
sweet tea.
Yeah. I know a lot of people really like it.
Okay.
Which is why I'm willing.
I think I'll be bargain also.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'll try it. If it tastes good, next time it's a bucket. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
exactly. Exactly.
Okay, clothing.
Okay.
Animal print leggings.
Please. Please, bin. Are we in 07?
I mean, come on, it could be like PJs in your house. You know,
Still
vibing.
uninterested.
You're feeling
Animal
a bit
print.
of jungle vibe.
No. To be fair, for jungle vibe, I like zebra print.
Okay, so animal
So
print.
d-
okay,
does
come
that
on,
still
but-
fall
Yeah, you
under
just
it?
choose your animal. Choose your animal.
But not leggings. I feel like leggings is too far.
Okay, so
Leggings
what
is
would you
like-
go? So that's in the bin,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like you bin that straight away,
100%.
instant. But if you were gonna go zebra or something else, what item would that be?
So I've got zebra print PJs, but they're short, so
Okay.
they're cute and short. I've got swimsuit that's zebra print. I just feel like the whole thing is just too much.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a lot. You're making statements. Okay.
Yeah, statements I don't want to make.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Transport.
Okay.
Scooter. Meet me.
To get from A to B.
I mean, you
Or
take
for
it where you
fun.
want. It could be fun. It could be, you just want that summer vibe. Italy,
Bin.
Rome. No, you don't want a
Bin.
little Vespa in Rome.
Bin.
Bin. Okay,
Bin.
that was a quick one.
Bin.
I felt like the Italian effect.
Okay, maybe on the back of a scooter though. What's a scooter? Is a scooter the one that you hold there?
The one like a little moped.
Yeah, bin.
You know what? Actually, there's two different types of scooters. So
Okay.
you got your standard like kiddie one where you're like 1 foot on,
Oh yeah,
brum,
yeah.
brum, brum, manual. But I was thinking more like Vespa vibes.
Oh okay, okay. Bin.
Both bin.
I'm like regardless.
So whether it's manual, you're like being a kid again, or you're no in Rome, it's not
To
happening.
get from A to B, no.
No? Okay,
Mm-mm.
so this is what I need to tell the people that when I was like 16, 17, I had a
Yes.
little 50cc,
See, that's exciting as a teenager.
but not as an adult, it's not happening.
No,
Okay, fine. Let's
not
move
for
on.
me today.
Let's move on. Okay, health.
Okay.
A mani-pedi.
Bucket. If you know anything about me, nails did, toes did, so 100%.
I thought there was going to be some rap that started there. Like, some freak, if
Right.
you know anything about me.
If you don't- Yeah, that one it's like so direct as a bucket.
So I actually remember in season 1 talking to someone about this, and especially men's pedicures.
Okay, yeah, I
Because
think
I'm personally a fan, and I
Yeah.
believe that all men should have pedicures.
I agree.
I think I should look this way and tell people, all men should have pedicures.
I agree.
What do you think?
Co-signed. Retweet. Yeah.
Because I think, you know what? Look after your body, look after your life, help the people around you as well. So when people look at your toes, you
Exactly.
don't
Help the
scare
people
them.
around you.
Okay, final one.
Okay.
Experience.
Okay.
Go-karting.
Oh, bucket. I love go-karting.
Okay, why?
I don't know. I think because I've only ever done it abroad. And so it reminds me of the country as well. But I think
Which
it's just
country?
an exciting. So I recently did it in Marrakesh.
Oh.
And yeah, so I just love the idea of, yeah, zoom, zoom. I've done it in Dubai. So it's just really fun because
Okay.
it's very much like a holiday. Like I'm a holiday activity person. Like I love the jumping off things.
Okay.
So
So I feel like you put this into categories. Like, I feel like you're saying a bucket to outdoor go-karting.
so what are you referring to?
I mean, in the UK, there's a lot of go-kart. When
Oh.
it's indoor, you get inside. It's very sweaty. It's very...
Okay, like the small. Okay.
Yeah, so are you kind of putting this into two categories?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.
Bucket.
Still?
Yeah.
Still? Okay,
I
I'm with you.
do like those kinds of activities.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Do you drive a manual or automatic car also?
I drive an automatic.
Okay, this
Why?
makes... So you basically drive a go-kart already then?
Right.
Okay,
I
nice.
felt judged there. I have a manual license. I don't know why I need to defend that.
I mean, I drive a manual car, but we'll let the people decide if you can drive properly.
My driving's great.
Okay,
Okay.
we're hitting it.
Okay.
I think we understand you
Yeah.
now. The mani-pedi, the go-karting, the sushi, the Zanzibar. We know a lot about
A
Temi
little bit,
Danso right now. We know a little bit, but let's dive in.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go deeper. Whew.
Let's go. So, Temi, welcome to the podcast. I'm gonna get straight into it.
Okay.
First question we ask everyone, and it's quite a deep one straight away. Actually, when I think about it, is what does peace mean to you?
Peace. I think that's a great name for a podcast, by the way. I think we should always be pursuing peace. Peace for me feels like balance. It feels like having and going in a good stride with your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual life, your emotional well-being, and just knowing that you have a good system and you know who to come to, like if you're struggling, and you know that can be God if you're religious or if you're a person of faith, but that could also be journaling, or that could be going to the gym. Like there's so many different things, and just thinking about community and everything else around you that just help to support your overall well-being. So I think it's balance around your overall well-being.
Wow, you went so many places with that. I was like, that was a good definition. Wow.
Thank you.
But I was thinking of when you said about system, and I was thinking you're an engineer trained. Do you mean system as in like system line? I will do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, and I'll get to peace? Or do you mean like ecosystem, like things around you?
Okay, so I meant system as the first definition you gave. So almost like knowing that if I'm struggling with something, these are the solutions. So it's like having the systems to put things in place for you to be able to get back or to do better. So I did not mean ecosystem, but that's a good, yeah.
No, it's
good
interesting
too.
though, isn't it? Because you think about peace, ecosystem, people around your life. I think the people around your life can give you more peace
Yeah.
or disrupt your peace. So I'm always fascinated when I think about the concept of peace around not just me as well, but like the world around me. And I was literally last night doing this little devotional Bible study thing with a group. It's called Rooted, and we were talking about the systems, the wider things around our life, and how I see myself or how I interact with other people can. We're talking about like shalom, which is this big like deep word for peace, and the Hebrew word, and it talks about wholeness of life and those sort of things. And I often think actually peace is not just about me; it's also about the people around me.
Yeah.
How's your journey been with the people around you when you think about your definition of peace? And
Yeah, I think they definitely influence that. And if I think about, I'm an ambivert, I'm an extroverted introvert. So I love time with people and I love being able to be in community with people, but I need that in doses. Like after a long stretch, I need time by myself. And so I think it is important to focus on community because we're not born to be or to live in silos. So it's important to be able to lean on people, especially when you most need it and especially when you're struggling. But you can also be that support for other people. So I have siblings that I speak to every single day, and it's great to have family. But even if you don't have family or siblings or cousins, whoever you're close to, that can come in the form of friends, that can come in the form of co-workers, just being a blessing to people around you, but also being around the right kind of people so that you're also absorbing good from them as well,
absorbing the good vibes.
Yeah, absorbing good vibes always.
Good vibes always. We all had that T-shirt once upon a time.
Yeah.
We wanted that T-shirt.
Good
We'll use
vibes
that.
only.
We'll use that hashtag at some point.
Yeah.
So hey, we love to talk about a quote about peace.
Okay.
So the quote this time is, "Peace is not the absence of war. Peace is the absence of fear." And this is by Ursula Franklin. So I'll say it again. Peace is not the absence of war. Peace is the absence of fear. What do you feel about that?
Okay, that's interesting because you would think that, if there's war in a situation, then that must be the absence of peace. But I guess it's also how you navigate through it and not necessarily the situation. But fear is such a hidden trigger or tremor. Like it's such a, because it's a mental thing, it's an emotional feeling. It's really hard to pinpoint it as this is the reason why you're not feeling at peace, if that makes sense. But I do think, I do agree with it because I do think you can be in a crazy situation and not feel fear. And I guess that's where it comes from, like peace in the Bible, where it's like God is standing with you, God is walking with you. So you've got the Holy Spirit, so you're not feeling, the actual war around you. You're just feeling at peace and you have nothing to fear. So,
No, it's powerful because I always when I think quotes like this, like for some people, if they use the word war, they might say, "Oh, I don't live in a war-torn country. I've never experienced war," but actually they might experience war in their circumstances or in their relationships,
or in their mind, like the turmoil.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true. And you talked about this like tremor of fear. I was thinking about like how fear can be like a tremor, where it literally is like I was thinking about is it this, Inside Out, or there's like a movie where it has the little cartoons in your head and like the angry cartoon and different things. And I think sometimes it's so helpful to realize you have these different emotions and thoughts kind of battling each other. And so when I think about war, actually I think about battles, and then I think I remove the concept of thinking that it has to be guns or tanks or drones or things. And actually I think for a lot of us our war is often internal before external.
And that's what affects you the most,
literally,
if you're not in a war-torn place.
No, it's so true. Wow. I think for me you talked about like from a faith perspective, literally in weeks leading up to the recording this episode, I've been going through challenging times as a founder and CEO and as a human being. And I was thinking, I've found this verse in the Bible in Isaiah 26 verse 3, where it talks about those whose minds are steadfast, who trust in the Lord will have like perfect peace. And I got really challenged recently to realize if I trust myself, my peace is going to be forever disrupted. So for me, in my perspective, I have to go, actually, the only person I feel in this world I can trust is God, because every human might fail me, including myself. I might fail myself.
Especially yourself,
literally. And And actually, my aim needs to be perfect peace, not like peace sometimes, and the rest I'll have these fear kind of triggers and tremors or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, powerful,
Yeah,
powerful,
very. Yeah.
powerful moments.
Great quote.
So hey, so you have 850,000 subscribers on YouTube.
I do.
Again, crazy every time we think about this. So talk to us about a little bit around this transition from mechanical engineering to having 850,000 subscribers on YouTube. How does that even happen?
I wish I knew. How does that happen? So I studied engineering, and that's what I thought I wanted to do, because it was the natural progression. You know, I did maths, physics, and art at school, so it was like, oh yeah, of course, engineering. So that's how I fell into it. And I do love the idea of problem solving and trying to come up with creative solutions. I think those are all things that really do fascinate me.
Yeah.
And so while I was working as an engineer, I also loved art, and I still love art, clearly. And I loved doing art on the side. And for me, it got to a point where I felt like I had two full-time jobs because I was actively putting in so many hours into both.
Yeah.
And during COVID, I remember that I would work from home and then jump straight into the art stuff and then jump straight back. Like it was always.
And you're in the same place.
I
You're
was-
literally working from home
Yeah.
with two jobs, in essence.
Yes. So I was working from my living room, my dining table. For my office job, I had the two screens and all of that. And then I had a second bedroom, which was my office,
Yeah.
that I was using for all of the art stuff. So
Wow.
the filming, the editing, I was doing everything by myself.
I'm just having this image right now, kind of like Batman. It's like Bruce Wayne doing his thing, and then night comes,
Yeah.
Batman suit comes on, and it's out on the Batmobile.
Exactly.
But instead for you, because of COVID, there was no Batmobile.
It was
You
just the
went-
corridor to my house. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly how it felt.
Wow.
And it got to the point where I felt like this is too much. So I needed to give one of them up.
Yeah.
And naturally, the one that I was going to give up was not going to be art, because anyone could do my engineering job with the same training, with different training, whatever. Anyone could do it. But not anyone could be Temi Danso art. No one else could be Temi Danso art. And so it was
No pretenders.
no pretenders. So it was important for me to be able to give that my all. And like sometimes people ask me like, oh, what did your Nigerian parents say? But it's like my parents were fine with the decision. It was very much, I think they were just like, so YouTube is doing something. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
they're
really
with the
doing
times.
something. Yeah.
Because I know some African parents where they're like doctor, engineer, lawyer.
Lawyer, and that's it. Anything, accountant maybe.
Yeah,
Anything else.
Yeah, look after
Yeah.
the P's and the money. That we can
exactly.
roll that.
But my parents were not really like that. And I say that from a place of, I had the engineering degree. So I don't know if they would have been different if I said, I want to study art. I don't know.
understand, yeah.
But I do know that at the point where I was ready to quit, to face art, they were very supportive. And it was even external people to my family. They were more bringing their self-doubt or their, resistance and their own projections. They were the ones that would come and say, oh yeah, are you sure? Don't you want to? And it's like, I don't. Thank you though, but I don't.
Wow.
So yeah, that's why I had to transition. It just felt like too much.
So you had these two things you're wrestling,
Yeah.
and you had to go almost make a decision. Like you said, anyone could be a mechanical engineer. I don't know, with how the world is growing these days. One day a bot is going to be...
Let's not go into it.
Okay,
Let's not go
that's
into it.
another episode.
But
yeah.
yeah.
But actually, you've got the creative brain. You enjoy it. It's your passion. So
Yeah.
I'm going to make that decision.
Yeah, and it's just even me giving myself the space and the time to be able to create whatever I want to create. When I worked in corporate, I was creating things or engineering things that the top line have said da da da, and it's like, okay, now I'm just going to do it. But now it's like I have the autonomy to decide, what do I want to draw today? I don't want to draw anything, or this is what I want to do. And I think having that autonomy really helped as well. And it was easy. It was an easy decision. It was a no-brainer.
Interesting. So easy for you, but I feel like even with Guardian Borders, we deal with lots of people who are creatives and they're consultants. And I feel like people are like, I work 9 to 5, and then like you used to, I clock off that 9 to 5, and then I pick up my camera. I clock off that 9 to 5, and then I pick up the mic. So for someone who's in that creative space, or they might literally be just juggling two different jobs, it might not be creative sphere. How do you go from going, I've got these two jobs, I need to make a transition? Was it like a real step of faith? Did it make almost financial sense to you? Did it make career sense? How was that wrestle?
Yeah, so I'm also kind of bang in the middle where I'm very logical, but I'm also very emotional or creative. And so the logical brain was definitely there. So
It's ticking. The brain
it
was
was
going.
ticking. So in terms of financial sense, it got to the point where I was making my engineering salary or double my salary sometimes. And so it it was a no-brainer. So I wasn't ever in a position where I felt like, oh, I'm gonna be a starving artist. God forbid. God forbid. No way. It was always like financially, this makes a lot of sense. Mentally, for my own well-being, this makes a lot of sense. So
Wow.
it was a step of faith, but I didn't. It was a step of faith because um, the whatever you get in kind of varies every month,
Yeah.
and so even if it's been good so far, it could literally stop being good tomorrow.
People go, Temi Danso art. Don't want to listen to
Nah.
her. Don't want to watch her anymore.
Yeah, exactly,
Crazy.
and it can drop at any time, and also you're kind of in the sphere of it's the algorithms deciding content sometimes. So it's like your audience, 850,000 people will not see my next video because of how the YouTube algorithm works. And so there are a lot of things that went into it. But I think on an overall, I knew that if I would probably live in regret if I stuck to engineering and just gave this up because I saw so much potential. So you asked if someone's in a similar position. And what I would just say is, what is your vision and where do you see yourself in, I don't know, a year, 2 years, 3 years, provided everything goes well. And now that you can give enough of your time to the one thing, and like walking in faith, I
Yeah.
think there's a big chance that things could go well. So just going even off of that track record, it just feels like a nice push of faith. And more than anything else, because I had my engineering degree to fall back on,
Yeah.
I wasn't really taking a big risk. I could, if I needed to, polish up that CV that I've not opened in many years, but polish it up to go back into it. Like that,
Polish up, dust it off.
dust it off, and just like, hello, please, would you take me back? So it's not like the shutting this door means you're locking this door forever. It's not that at all.
Yeah.
So also just realizing that you're young or not, it's fine, but give yourself a few years to actually chase this so you don't live in regret.
Wow.
Yeah.
So taking a step of faith, thinking about where you could be in a year or two if everything goes well.
Yeah, because you will have more time to give to it now.
Yeah. P.S. Have an insurance policy.
Yeah,
and it might be
disclaimer.
have a good CV, but I
Yeah.
mean, you give the people a disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. I'm not saying drop out of uni and don't. That's your own. I'm just saying that I had a backup, but even then, I wasn't even feeling like, oh, at least I have a plan B. It was like, this is plan A. Like, this is it.
There's so many bars here. I'm enjoying this. And I'm thinking, for me, as a founder and CEO of Guardian Ballers, I took that step of faith around like COVID times.
Yeah, like similar. Yeah.
And went from teaching, money comes in, really secure, to then taking a step of faith and literally going, I have this vision. I didn't even have the subscribers or money coming in, or I was kind of like, to be honest, I felt like naked at some point. Like
Just
I have,
vulnerable,
yeah,
yeah.
really vulnerable. But actually, yeah, I found that for me, actually, COVID was I was thinking about COVID boosters when you're talking just now, you know, like the jabs everyone's getting. But I'm just really intrigued. How was COVID for you with online stuff? Because, for example, I think everyone wanted to do their own little podcast during COVID. Everyone's like, okay, I'm at home.
Yeah.
I can do a barbecue with me and my cat. or I could become a DIY YouTuber or speaker. Was there a big boost for you around that time, or was it like quieter? How did COVID impact you as a YouTuber?
Yeah.
And going up to like 850,000 subscriber, how did that boost in subscribers happen?
Over the first year, so I started my YouTube channel properly in 2019.
Okay.
And that was right at the end of my degree. And I was like, oh, I'm ready for this. So I was working on the side, but also putting out one video every single week. So that was
Every
from the
week?
start of 2020.
What? So literally every single week. So
Every
maybe
single
even
week.
50 videos a year.
52, yeah.
52.
I literally, like, I had a content calendar and I was on it. In fact, now with my current cadence,
Wow.
I'm always embarrassed at the Temi of today because a few years ago, literally 5 years ago in 2020, it was every single week without fail. I was doing a video. And so when COVID happened around March, and because we were working from home, it meant I had more time to put towards it because I didn't have to commute for 45 minutes every day. So that really helped me to be able to just jump into it straight after work, just jump into it. And then in terms of the numbers, I think in that first year, I only got to So my goal was 10,000 subscribers, but I got to 20,000 subscribers by the end of my year. In the first year, yes.
52
of me doing it
videos,
properly. Yes.
10,000 subscribers.
So no,
YouTube.
10,000 was the goal. I got to 20.
20,000 on
Yeah.
YouTube. Wow.
Which was good. So, and then by the end of 2021, my goal was 100,000, but I got to 200,000.
Wow.
So I think COVID helped a little bit, but actually this boost to 850
Spike.
has been after COVID. It was like maybe 2022, 2023. Not 100% sure on that. But
someone can fact check
yeah,
that
so
one.
don't
people
quote me.
people want the research. Go ahead, look at the analytics, look at the stats,
and then DM me, let me know. But yes, so COVID helped more with my own timing, and I think because people were at home, it probably helped as well that they were, just ready to consume content.
And maybe those like 20,000 subscribers were faithful, like big views really coming through. But
yeah.
So I'm like an amateur when it comes to YouTube. So tell me here, and anyone else who's listening or watching in, how do you boost your YouTube subscriber, your presence? How does it even happen?
So I think the main thing is about thinking about each video as a new opportunity to reach new people, and not thinking or not titling or packaging your video in such a way that it feels like they already know you or they should already know something. So it should just be, this new thing is, oh yeah, just something to capture the new people, because the way the algorithm works is that people are more likely to see you on their home feeds. So you need to compete against those massive view people that you actually, they're saying, oh, jumping off the da-da-da. It's like, if the title of my video is...
like jumping into like a Shark Tank or something
exactly,
like that.
The deepest da-da-da in the world. And you're like, I can never compete against that. But then the person that wants to watch your content will be interested in your content as long as it's packaged in the right ways.
And they'll skip the shark jumper.
They might watch a shark after or before, because you can do both, right? But I do think it's about packaging. I think that's the biggest thing, because you can have so much I don't know, you can have the best video underneath, and it could literally be the most fantastically produced video, but if people don't click on it, they will not know that it was the best video. So you need to actually title and thumbnail it well enough that people are curious, that people just want to know more. They're just itching, like, if I don't click, something might happen to me.
I'm switching.
No,
I need Temi Danso art right now. I need it.
Exactly. Like, that's what you want. But,
okay. Well, and so for me, I'm this baby CEO, and I'm going, right, what do I need to know about marketing? Someone said to me the other day, oh, a little SEO tip. If you were to say to someone or someone now, they're like, okay, I need to know how to pump my videos. They're going to package it. They're going to put their thumbnail on. They're going to put that caption. Is there anything else that you would say, these are the tips of my trade? This is the Temi Danso art wisdom of how I am arriving or arrived where I am now?
to package their videos?
Just like the top tips, Like if there's a top tip and you're like, oh, this is the number one, or these are the top three things I can think of and make me go, be successful.
Okay, so I think the main thing is building a curiosity loop. So asking a question or being expressive in the title, so that people are almost like they just need to close that loop by clicking on your video. But it's hard to give advice broadly because it's very niche dependent. So it's like what works for me as an artist will be completely different to what will work for another channel. But for me personally, I know that what works for me a lot is, oh, I'm trying this new thing for the first time, or I'm using a bunch of things. It's just things that are kind of wider in the, it's not just a general drawing, I don't know,
I'm
Taylor
drawing
Swift.
the same thing with the same pen.
Exactly. So it's like, what is the exciting part that someone would be like, oh my gosh, no, I have to know what that thing is.
You're drawing with chocolate today. Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Like, why aren't you eating it?
I want to eat some chocolate, but actually, what is this?
Exactly. And it's just like, and it's not saying do wacky, crazy ideas, because you can still build curiosity in normal ways, I guess. But it's just about like, what's the most exciting part of the video, and actually starting there. But I also think a big part in 2025 is focusing on short form content, because short form is probably what most people consume before they decide to dedicate an hour or however long a podcast is, because they don't know you that well by that point. So actually the short form sound bites, and
I need to taste this before I go for the whole meal.
exactly that. And because Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, they all prioritize short form. So it's, I think it's a perfect way to just give people a bit of a taster. And again, not to be rushing like, oh, this is blah, blah, blah. Just get straight into it.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, I'm hooked. Okay, I want to know more. And then they go to watch a full episode, for example.
And for more tips, check out Temi Danso Art.
Email
Drop a
me and I'll
DM,
invoice you.
Email, she'll invoice you. I don't mind she invoices you as long as I get the money. But so, hey, I'm really passionate and in the pursuit of peace, I'm really passionate about understanding the human behind the camera. And you've got all these subscribers, all these likes, all these views. You've got this amazing story. But a question we often ask people is around a bump in the road for them. And I remember even before being in this podcast, you talked about right at the beginning, the little teaser around when I told you about this podcast first, you were like, we're processing stuff right now and things were quite tough. So I'd love for you to share about a bump in the road for you, a challenge. You know, you talked to me a little bit about burnout, self-doubt, imposter syndrome. There's so many big things there, but how has it been on your journey in navigating this pursuit of peace, and what sort of bump or bumps in the road have you found yourself navigating?
Yeah, I've definitely faced all that, and it's so difficult, and it doesn't get easier, because even a big one for me last year was art block. And that's just, it's kind of like the same as creative block or writer's block, where you just can't seem to be able to create. And as someone that creates for a living, you can't not create. So it was very tough. It was interesting because I didn't realize that I was going through it at the time. So I was just distracting myself. I was just focusing on anything else. If you know me, I love to travel. So I was just going helter skelter.
Passport was
Getting the stamps. Exactly. But I definitely found that getting through that or coming over the other side was so difficult. It took me nearly the whole year. So even when we were speaking about it, I realized that I repressed a lot of emotions. I suppressed everything, and I didn't even share it with my friends or family. And it wasn't until recently that I was sharing with them, and they were like, why didn't you tell me at the time? And it was just like, in the moment, I didn't even want to think about it. And that's the truth. And for anyone that might be facing art block or going through any of these things, I will just say that you should feel the emotions. So don't try to distract yourself. Don't try to push it to the side. Just actually sit down and feel the emotions, whatever that looks like, even if that would make you feel terrible for a week, for a month, however long. It is important to address it head on. But also things like journaling has really helped me. And even looking back on some of my journal entries, it's so interesting to see that, oh my gosh, I was once in such a negative space, especially when you come over the other side. So that's the other thing. You will come over the other side. You just need to keep going, and you just need to have a community around you, have people that you will share it with, but also prayer. Prayer really helps me as well. So just being able to take it to God. If you're scared to talk to people around you, don't be scared to talk to God. And I think that's so important.
Wow.
But yeah, coming over the other side of art block and just being able to remove the pressure from anything else that I want to create, and just focusing on it as, okay, I don't even need to share this on the internet. This is literally just for me to be able to do. And I think that really helped me to come back to a better place. And honestly, the new year and the new year hype and the new year, all of that goals and all of that really helped me to step back into it, because it was like, girl, it's 2025. You better stand up. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, that's all stuff that helps.
That's so powerful. And I think when I hear what I'm hearing you say is there was a mix of kind of burnout, self-doubt. It almost sounded like you had a kind of artistic or an artist depression. How's that sound as a phrase?
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, no, because I was actually depressed that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if someone's in a mental health space, it might be like, Temi's depressed right now. But someone who's an artist would go, Temi's got art block.
Yeah, on top of that, so it can be both as well. Like two things,
wow. And it's just amazing all the things you talked about, of how it helped you elevate you, the setting goals in the new year, and literally maybe even the calendar ticking into 2025 to prayer.
Like it's a fresh start, you know, the new year.
Wow. Yeah. And I reflect on that journey of, in Guardian Borders, we help young people with their mental health. And there's an amazing video which helped me understand what depression is. It's called I Had a Black Dog, His Name Was Depression. Amazing video, you should check out. It's on YouTube, by the way.
Okay.
And it just helps someone unpick what it looks like to have depression. It's like you go to that party and you're like, hey, smile on your face, but actually you feel like there's a dog biting your hand. Or like people are going out and inviting you, but actually there's a big black dog in the middle of the door and you don't feel like you want to go out the house. Or
So,
Yeah.
have you never faced depression?
For me, in my life, I've had like days and like maybe a week or so, for example, where I'm like, wow, I'm down right now.
Mm.
And I think the biggest thing for me when I first encountered depression and understood what it was is through my brother and his
Okay.
journey. And
Okay.
he was literally on season 1, episode 1,
Okay.
Gavin. And I remember that journey of like having to navigate with him and finding it really difficult. But actually, I found years later when I had like, I've had days or a week or so where I've been really low, I've had to go, right, I have a black dog right now, I need to tackle it.
Mm.
And so it's like that, like you said, it's feeling that emotion and like talking to people in my community. I remember going to family and stuff, going, message them, I feel really depressed and low right now.
Mm.
Pray for me.
Mm.
And then going, in my head, I feel really depressed right now. I need to go to the gym
Yeah.
to like move my
Yeah.
emotions. And I think everyone will go through it in some way, whether it be a couple of days a week, a year, 10 years or longer. But I found for me, it was like really going, I need to tackle this.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, right? Like being a founder and CEO of a young person's mental health organization, charity, that I was like a depressed CEO.
That's not so. That doesn't surprise me, actually. I think a lot of people live on autopilot. So I think not everyone actually thinks about their emotional state. Sometimes it's just like, oh, I just need to do this. Like, I need to show up. People are relying on me, so I need to be there. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think this is where we can relate because I'm a founder of an organization and you're like a founder of yourself. Like, you know, a founder of Temi Danso Art, and that's so powerful. So I guess before we go into the final part here, I wanted to ask you a quick question and a really quick one. You're leveling up with your YouTube presence. How do you tackle imposter syndrome? Like you're going up and you said there's all these big YouTubers and you're here, you're like climbing towards 1 million subscribers. How do you even process that?
Yeah, it's really tough. And I think even till now, like imposter syndrome is very prevalent in my life because there's some opportunities I get. And I think that's the amazing thing about the industry that I'm in. I can't even fathom some opportunities that I get. And I think every time it just feels like it's such a humbling experience because it doesn't feel like my channel is as big as it is. It doesn't feel like all of these, I don't know, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people are watching my content or have seen my stuff.
That's so crazy, by the way. Every time you say it, like
No,
literally
same.
millions of people.
It's
going,
also crazy
hello,
to me.
Debbie, I'm watching it.
Yeah, like I think at the end of the day, I don't think it's anything that I will get used to. I don't know. So yeah, the imposter syndrome is real, but I do always try to remember that imposter syndrome is almost insulting to God because you're telling God that yes, He has brought you here, but you're like, why am I here? God brought you here,
He's saying you're worthy.
yeah, He is saying you're worthy. So why are you now feeling like, oh my gosh, but maybe I'm not? But you're here for a reason. So it's just like remembering that
Preach,
that's
girl.
just your own. It's just your own like personal, I don't know, self-doubt that isn't actually true. It's the enemy talking to you. It's not the truth. So just remembering that you're here for a reason. So you better lace those boots up and go. Yeah.
I feel like you need to lace up your boxing boots and just give the enemy a
Exactly. A small one too. Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
So hey, before we come into land, we always
Okay.
do a little self-care piece.
Okay.
So today, because you're here in the studio, we're going to do a super quick drawing. So we're going to sketch something over about 60 seconds or so, and that's like barely any time.
That's literally nothing. I can't.
That's why it's going to be funny. It'll be like, going back to primary school, like, chum, 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 chum. It's okay. You might even just want to write something.
Guys, I can't. I can't draw in 60 seconds.
It's like, we'll just tell people, don't look at what she does right now. Go to the YouTube.
Go to the channel.
Yeah, the channel first.
Okay.
Because actually drawing can be really therapeutic for people. It's been proven to reduce stress, to improve focus, to enhance creativity. And it's a self-expression.
Yeah.
So some people right now, they might be listening, they might want to pause and draw.
Okay.
Or they might be on YouTube, press the pause. They might want to draw with us a little bit. But if you have nothing right now, guys, you need to go ahead, grab your pens. You won't have a nice canvas like us. You might have even an even bigger one, but go get your paper, your pens, and draw with us.
Okay.
Okay, so let's grab it. So let's grab a little canvas. We're going to get some pens, and we'll spend 60 seconds trying to draw something that relates to your pursuit of peace, your creative journey, anything. Okay, express yourself, be creative.
This is so tough.
Ah.
Anything that
Literally
relates
anything.
to peace. Okay.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
go ahead. Grab your stuff. What colors do you like?
Okay. Very eclectic mix of colours.
So I'm a guardian border, so I'm gonna go purple,
Okay.
and I'm also gonna go this green.
Because this is the colour of my top, I guess. Must be
Mm-hmm.
cohesive.
Yeah, you can see we've got all the colors happening. We've got guardian borders purple, even your mug right here.
Right.
We've got a little mug for 22 Productions, a bit of yellow, but
Can they
okay.
see that on the camera?
I think so. People can,
Yeah?
in the midst. Hello,
Okay.
hello. You see this? Yeah. So, anything really quickly to express yourself. We can just squiggle it.
That
Okay.
relates to
A
peace.
little bit of drawing to just relax. Thinking about Temi's story.
Okay, this is more orange than I thought.
Mm-hmm. What do you think it was? A little bit
Which
of brown?
makes me nervous. Yes, I thought it was more like a, cheeky brown.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I feel like I'm going back to primary school art classes here.
No, same, because, okay, I'm just going to give everybody a disclaimer. I have something called aphantasia. So I actually can't draw if I can't see a thing. Like, I need references to draw. So this is very tough.
So as
What is
in,
that?
what do you do for those references?
So
Your
I
drawing?
always have a reference on my phone or on my iPad to draw from.
To like copy something?
Yes, exactly
Wow,
that. Like
okay.
it's like you can generate whatever ideas, but I need a reference to be able to bring it to life.
Yeah.
And this
Love that.
right now, I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Don't worry, it's all a journey right here. I'm actually really enjoying this because I'm like such an amateur artist that mine can look bad and it's okay.
See, mine can't look bad, which is why this is awkward. No, it's fine because it's all just,
It's all for the podcast.
it is. And it's
Okay.
nice. It's always nice to draw. I hope you guys are drawing along.
I know, I actually feel like
Wow.
relaxed as I do this.
Yeah.
Are you feeling it? I'm feeling more peaceful.
Yeah, I like that. It's always
Hmm.
nice to draw.
Okay, I'm gonna say we have like another like 20 seconds. Okay, 10 seconds.
Okay, so
I'm so excited to see your amazing masterpiece, by the way. Really excited.
okay, I think you need to bring your expectations down, down a little bit. I'm excited to see what you've drawn. Something that represents peace to you.
Oh, I'm drawing what I've heard from your journey, actually.
Oh, about me.
Mm.
Interesting.
What I've
Because
heard you say.
I don't think this is something I've shared that much today. But
I'm excited. Okay, gonna do a countdown
okay.
whilst I draw the biggest and most quickest world I've ever seen in my life.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, who's going first? Me or you?
You.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna point this to the camera, and so you can see it as well.
Ooh. This is cool.
So this is my representation of Temi's journey and her pursuit of peace.
Okay.
So at the bottom, just because I think it's a good peace vibe, we got a little river
Okay.
which has peace. Okay. Then at the bottom we've got your little, what's that?
A car.
Toot,
A very
toot.
good car.
A little car. Okay. Then we've got this little speech kind of thought bubble. Oh, Temi's vision. I've got this little world here because you just, you talked about your jet setting and those sort of things going around the world. And then we got this like wall, but it's like you broke through it. The art block.
Wood.
And this is you. Look at that.
The purple stick.
That is
figure. It's great.
I think you got good vibes there, good figure, been working out, doing well. And then two other things as you go up these steps is loads of people, your family, your friends, and then a cross for your faith.
Okay.
So that is my representation of Temi's pursuit of peace.
Okay. That is actually very good.
Kieran Joseph,
Original.
art, coming soon. We'll let you know when the YouTube channel is set up.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Be my first one. Okay.
Okay, that was actually really good. And I
Thank you
think
so
that
much.
represented a good, well-rounded view of my journey where I more captured a moment in time. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is what I drew. So this is actually meant to be the view from a plane window.
Uh-huh.
So this is just like a nice sunrise, and
Wow.
this is the wing of the plane. And the reason I drew this was because I really do believe that, you know, when you're in the sky, and this will be for anyone that's traveled on a plane before, but when you're in the sky and you're just looking out the window and just seeing the awesomeness of God, I feel most at peace, which is interesting because some people are like scared of flying and
hold
stuff.
on to-
Yeah. But I feel most at peace when I'm looking at a sunset, a sunrise, and just looking at God's creations, like
Yeah,
the
wow.
actual colors, the actual creativity in the sky just outside of us. That's something that you can get to see most days, every day. But there's something more special about seeing it from a plane view where the earth looks so small, and
You're in awe.
it's the actual magnitude of what life is. So for me, that's like a very peaceful moment. Hence why
Wow.
I drew that. But this isn't a good drawing. But
No, but I'm impressed. That is no, it's powerful. I feel like
Thank
sometimes
you.
when I'm in the sky and you're going on the plane, and the fluffy clouds are there, I'm kind of
Yeah.
like, I'm closer to heaven.
Exactly that. It just feels amazing.
In some ways, you could be closer to heaven because if that plane goes down. But
Please,
anyway,
please,
let's
please.
not. This is the pursuit of peace. So
Exactly. Let's focus on the
You,
piece.
you know what? Bring a
Cool.
little. Let's put it up here for the
Okay.
end of this episode. Yeah, these are masterpieces. So, Temi,
Yeah.
we finished our self-care piece.
Lovely. That was fun.
We're coming into land.
Okay.
I've enjoyed this very
We're
much.
coming into
So-
land. The plane.
To land, literally. Clock that
Pun
one.
intended.
So hey, we love to give a little space at the end where
Okay.
you're literally on the mic, where you might have something, a story, a word of inspiration, something else you want to tell. There might be a type of person you really want to speak to. That you might just want to say something that inspires everyone.
Okay.
But what would you want to leave people with as you exit the studio here and go about your amazing journeys? But as people listen now and watching now, what would you love to share with them?
Okay, so I think it's good that we've been able to speak about the whole journey of like overcoming self-doubt and imposter syndrome and all of that. But I just want to speak to anyone that's currently going through it. And there was a book that I read a few years ago called The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. And it's a fantastic
Great book.
It's a fantastic book for if you feel like you're just in the cycle of life, just everything on autopilot going back and forth, and just realizing that you should actually, as much as you can, make space for the Sabbath, make space to actually, I guess, bring yourself back down and to be more grounded. I think it's really important when trying to pursue peace, because if you're just trying to squeeze peace in, I don't know, the hecticness of your day, it's literally impossible to do that. So I think it's important when you're living life, even in the, I don't know, in the back and forth and whatever life is throwing at you, to actually take a step back, take space to, I don't know, become more grounded. And yeah, there are a lot of great tips in the book. And I think when I read it, it made me realize that I was running, and I didn't realize that I was running. And something that's interesting about the Bible is every time it spoke about Jesus, it was like Jesus is walking. And we're just like running from thing to thing, but actually take time, and you've got this. If you're going through it, I really hope and pray that you can get over.
Awesome. So if anyone going through something right now, go from running to walking.
Yeah.
Take your stride and slow down and look at the rhythms that you've got in your life.
Walk with God.
Yeah, to find that peace. Awesome. Final question we ask everyone.
What?
It is the title of the podcast.
Okay.
But Temi, to you, what is the pursuit of peace?
I think it's about intentionality, and like I said at the start, it's important to have balance in, you know, the different areas of your life, but I think it's about the intentionality you put behind it. So, for example, for me, with my physical health, it's very important to stay active, and whatever that looks like in your life, going for walks, going for runs, but also with building community, just making sure that you're aware of where you are at the moment. And it's okay if you're not where you want to be, but just being aware of where you are will help you go closer to where you should be or where you would like to be. So yeah, I think it's just about, and this is like the strategic part of my mind where it's like, what's the strategy? What are the steps? What, you know, to get there. But yeah, it's just being intentional about it.
So the pursuit of peace is being intentional to get to that space. Wow. Amazing. What an episode. Thank you for being in the Pursuit of Peace podcast.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
No, it's been awesome.